This April's energy is very serious and very focused, so if we can stay calm and grounded and commit to finding our flow state, we can really make use of this intense energy. It is a heavier, sensational time, but there are other alignments going on as well. So if you are also in social distancing, isolating yourself like I am, which, I'm filming this in the middle of March, but I'm sure that this will not be ending before this comes out for April. I hope that this provides you with some insight on how to spend your, quarantined inside time. If you are excited to dive into what the month of April holds astrologically, along with some tarot, some oracle deck, some other cards for insight, make sure that you give this video a like, you subscribe, and you hit that notification bell so you never miss what the stars have in store for you. Hi, I'm Maren. I am a professional astrologer, current college student, an author, and a witch proudly out of the broom closet. I combine traditional Hellenistic astrology techniques with modern psychological counseling dynamics in order to bring forth grounded spiritual guidance. So this video is brought to you by Rashi Collective. Quick commercial here for my platform, Rashi. It is a website connecting spiritual practitioners with their ideal clients. So if you are stuck at home and you offer things like yoga, Reiki, tarot, astrology, any type of service, you can post those on Rashi, and if you are a client looking to get your energetic needs met, you can find that as well. All the info is down below, and we would love to have you join. We're connecting healers and clients to facilitate healing, and we would love to have you join. So I have already also made videos for each rising sign for this April, so if you have not seen those will be linked down below for you to get the ins and outs for how this will show up for your sign after this video. So on the 1st of April, Mars is still continuing to conjoin Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius, I have a full video up on this that you can also watch after this one for the full understanding of what this 3-year transit is going to be, but it's new limitations, boundaries, challenges around the way that we communally think of ideas and thought structures that ground this reality. With Mars conjoining Saturn still at the beginning of this month, this is kind of a rude awakening of what the spread of ideas, and with that possibly the spread of viral type of information, like physical illness, is having. Mars conjoining Saturn is marking a more difficult beginning to this transit than the transit overall will be. That is one thing to consider, that we are definitely starting this with a bang, and that will reverberate out. It's not going to be the peak later on, that we are initiating this Saturn and Aquarius thing now. So there's going to be a carryover from March, and likely, those of us, we will still definitely be socially distancing. But I'm here for you. The astrology is here for you too. It will get better within a few years eventually. On the 1st as well, Jupiter is continuing to conjoin Pluto and Capricorn. This is another aspect that is indicating a lot of spread, to say the least. Capricorn is the Saturn-ruled sign of boundaries, of top-down challenges, of limiting and rooting down, and Jupiter conjoining Pluto and Capricorn is the expansion of transformative limitation. To say the least, that can be represented by a pandemic. So I don't want to start this off with reminding everyone where we're at in the world right now, at least, when I'm recording this, who knows what it'll be in 2 days, but Jupiter is at fall in Capricorn. I have another full video on this if you want to watch. I have all the things linked down below. But Jupiter in Capricorn is the spread of Capricorn energy, which is limits, what spreads to limit illness. Pluto exaggerates. It makes the atomic micro. It makes the micro atomic, with viruses being at that atom level. This is going to exponentially, indicate that it's spreading. And so the month is still starting out with the hallmarking theme of March, which is the worldwide state that we're in. On the 3rd, Venus enters Gemini, which on a completely different note, Venus is now entering the air sign of expressing thoughts and ideas and cerebrally connecting with others. I think this is the perfect Gemini placement for those of us who are connecting over the internet right now, because Venus in Gemini is wanting us to find the beauty and harmony in conversing on a one-to-one level in conversation. This is great for, those FaceTimes, those Zooms, those streamed workouts even, or just calling someone. This is great for that, and I think that we'll find more enjoyment and harmony amidst that now. On the 3rd as well, Mercury is conjoining Neptune in Pisces. So while Neptune is back into Pisces, it's going forward now in the stage that it was retrograde, so it's repassing its retrograde shadow as it's direct now. Mercury in Pisces is in its fall and its exile. It is a particularly difficult transit because Mercury, the communication planet, is not in a sign that facilitates direct or relevant linear communication. Neptune and Pisces conjoining it as well is indicating that perhaps the way that we are communicating in a much more artistic, less linear way is really beautifying. We're finding a way to use our words and use the way that we're reaching others in a way that might not be direct but is really beautiful. And I wouldn't be surprised if on the 3rd there is some sort of at least somewhat positive information coming about around this outbreak, some sort of glimmer of hope. On the 4th, actually I'm going to add in, this glimmer of hope might not be all it's cut out to be, and it could be a false like whistleblower or something, just throwing that. Neptune can be delusional. On the 4th, Venus in Gemini trines Saturn in Aquarius. So this is actually really beautiful because the Venus in Gemini is indicating harmony around socializing and connecting cerebrally. That Saturn in Aquarius is the limits around socializing. So this could really be that there is just a collective or maybe an event that really allows us to have supreme harmony between this distancing situation and the way that we're socializing and harmonizing. There could be a lot of beauty around that at the beginning of the month or on the 4th. On the 6th, Mars in Aquarius is squaring Uranus and Taurus. So this is another difficult aspect. Like I said, the month does start with some serious energy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. On the 6th, though, Mars is in Aquarius and it's squaring Uranus and Taurus. So this is Mars conjunct Saturn squaring Uranus. This is a drive to radically change the way in which we are going about implementing social structures. There's this like force for exaggerated revolution or changing the world all from the comfort of like twiddling our thumbs on our own. It's kind of pushing the brakes and the gas at the same time and being exploded upon from like a proxy outside force. I know that's a little nuanced and could be difficult to wrap your head around, but frankly we're in a time that's like beyond difficult to wrap our heads around, so it makes sense that there will be increased tension between the drive to do and the drive to do in sequester and the revolutionary energy that's collectively happening as a result of that. On the 7th, there is a full moon in Libra, so you can watch the full video here. This full moon in Libra is a culmination around relationship patterns, which in light of current events could definitely mean that we are reevaluating the way in which we relate to others, and we have to get over our petty shit because we are all in this together and literally like lives are on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start this out and like still have this carrying over, but this is kind of the theme, so that's relevant to the astrology. The full video it was recorded far before this. I record my videos about a month in advance, so even though it's April beginning, I recorded this like the end of February, so you can apply the video still to this current situation, but it is this culmination of a way of relating to others that now needs to be opened up to be more vulnerable despite, our distances. Now, if you're watching this at the beginning of April, I would love to know how this month is starting out for you in terms of how you're feeling at this point of 2020, if you have any stories or whatnot, because a lot of the times the viewers are watching this about first week of April, so if you have any stories so far about April energy, I would love to hear them down below. On the 14th, the Sun in Aries will square Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn, so on one hand, the Sun in Aries being squared by Jupiter is meaning that our drive to go after something is being helped out by the fact that we know that things are going on outside of our control. So it's kind of like, I mean, this sounds morbid, but it's kind of like we're all realizing how much individual will we have that we don't want to die not using, and we need to realize that things are changing around us, and so we therefore have to capitalize on our own personal power. The Sun is exalted in Aries, and we are really stepping into our own as we're alone. I think that the Sun in Aries right now, as we are distancing, is there could be no better sun sign right now to really show us to get our shit together and do the things and prioritize self-care and self-needs when it is about ourselves right now in the way that we're honoring community, is really choosing to go after things ourselves. The superior square from Pluto is asking for a deep transformation in this. This is no surprise. We're having to really grapple with how our ego can manifest in a lens of the current dynamics and what that means for us personally. On the 19th, the Sun then enters Taurus, which adds just the complete solidification of spring. This is fixed earth, this is grounding, and I think that by the time Taurus season rolls around, we'll have a new sense of grounding in what the changes are being made. Even if things aren't necessarily, quote, better yet, we are at a place where we are steady, we're stable, and we're planting those fertile seeds to better understand the energies happening right now. On the 20th, the Sun in Taurus will square Saturn in Aquarius, which is letting us know that there will be probably some sort of limiting turning point nearing the end of the month, probably around the 20th, that collectively we'll have another boundary set in place. This could be a boundary around resources. This could be a boundary around, I don't want to say like rationing as if we're, you know, having a food shortage, but it could just be more around like the resources, maybe like some of the disinfectant products or whatnot. Like there could be a new limitation placed on the way that we're able to use resources as a collective with Saturn, with the sun in Taurus, squaring Saturn in Aquarius. On the 22nd, there's then a new moon in Taurus. On the 22nd, this is actually a really beautiful full moon. You can watch the full video down below. I'm excited for this. I think that this is hallmarking a new beginning, and that we are really, there's really fertile energy this April. Like this energy is really serious fertile energy, and I think the fact that we are so in our flow, we're able to harness that alone time flow. It doesn't have to be a silver lining. You can make it into a blessing. I'm not someone who's like, every challenge is a blessing in disguise, because frankly, everything is. Like, there's no blessing or challenge. That's all perspective. It just simply is. But we can choose to say, you know, I get a high from self-growth. I understand that I'm becoming one with the universe, and I think this new moon, I'm excited for it, and I highly recommend you watch the video because it was a really beautiful one to record. On the 25th, the sun conjoins Uranus and Taurus. So 25th, expect some sort of really unexpected development around Taurian energy of Earth related topics. The 25th is a day where we might get a lightning burst of energy about what we want to birth or what we want to really manifest in our lives that would be meaningful to us for a long-term sustainable note. This could be a day where we have this like collective shift into more grounded optimism, or that we have more acceptance towards resources at hand. On the 25th as well, Mercury and Aries will square Jupiter and Pluto and Capricorn. So our ability to think grandly and think optimistically is coming into place, but we're also realizing that it takes a lot of transforming about our limiting beliefs. So it could be that we are speaking optimistically from a place of wishful thinking and like an inability to recognize the present situation, or it could be that we choose to transform the way that we view our present situation in a sense that uplifts us in our new authenticity. Sorry, I don't know what's happening if you can hear that outside. There's like, it just feels like I'm living in an alternate reality right now. Like New York is dead. I can hear someone that's like blasting, just like rioting, like some sort of like buzzer thing, and is yelling out like burgers. They're yelling about burgers and fried chicken sandwiches when animal agriculture got us into this pandemic in the first place. Shut the fuck up. On the 27th, Mercury enters Taurus and squares Saturn in Aquarius, which is indicating again that there might be some communication cutoff. Mercury entering Taurus can be kind of a difficult placement in terms of Mercury being kind of fast and Taurus being pretty grounded and steady. It's not like a planet in its fall or whatnot, but Mercury entering Taurus is going to mean that we're going to be saying things with more gravity and more promise, and there's going to be less me, and more, okay, what do I actually need to manifest into existence and set my mind to? Squaring Saturn in Aquarius, there could be a tendency to say things for the long term predictively that are on the more somber side, or it could just mean that we're biting our tongue around trying to make promises that might fall through. So as you can see, there's still a seriousness to this month, but there's such an energy of powerful flow. And I've never made a forecast like this before where the energy has been so dire for me to articulate it in a way that I think can help people, because I think that astrology doesn't provide meaning or explanation. It provides a space from which to observe, and with that space, we have space to breathe in the present moment. So it's not as if this is explaining anything away, it's as if this is validating it enough for us to step into choosing our own path. So with that, we're gonna step into the tarot cards. I had to use my dark tarot because this is my favorite. This has been with me since I was a little teenager, or not little teenager, I got this when I was like 18, when I was visiting Houston from college, which I'm still in New York living here now, which is crazy through all this. I'm sorry that I'm... Okay, anyway, we're gonna pull a tarot card because this is my favorite OG deck, Falling Apart. We'll see what comes up collectively. We have the Knight of Pentacles. I'm so glad that we... Oh, sorry, friends were texting me. I'm so glad I got this card because this is going after the shit you need. This is saying, what do I need to work on in a really reliable, sustainable way that solves my material problems? It is, there's no elephant in the room around the fact that world economy, I mean, what the hell? But this is a great card for the people that are watching this to know that the energy that's up for grabs for us is one of getting shit done. And even if it is kind of the rat race we're not used to, that we're dealing with earthly abundance coming our way if we set our mind to it. Now let's pull a Work Your Light Oracle deck card for more guidance in this situation. Star mother, how can you mother yourself? With this Aries emphasis on the self and this Taurus energy on Mother Earth, how can you mother yourself? I don't ever think there's been a time in my life where I've understood the gravity and the necessity of self-care. How does your body want to move? How does your body want to be nourished? How does your mind want to be nourished and moved? And are you in a state where you want to create or you want to consume? And seeing what the mother in you, because no one else, we are literally in it for ourselves, for everyone. And it's important to be an adequate parent for ourselves. Finally, I have a new deck in from Sedona, which thank God I just got back from Sedona like Friday before all this shit went down. I mean, it's, what day am I recording this on? I'm recording this on March 17th, so I usually do these a few weeks before. So this Witch's Wisdom Oracle deck means a lot to me because it's kind of like beforehand, and it's so beautiful, like there's silver plating. Anyway, we're gonna pull an Oracle deck card and, you know, see what comes up for us. We have High Priestess, High Priest Responsibility. This is, I think this card, can you see it? I feel like a beauty blogger. I don't know. It's a really pretty deck. I'm going to read from here and see what this says so we can see. High Priestess, Priest, Responsibility. Influence, control, and power could result in something sour. Responsibility is a must, creating outcomes fair and just. The magic worked with harm to none, so note it be, there it is done. Witch's Wisdom. It's not enough to seek power for power's sake. You must accept the responsibility that comes with it. All good witches know that consequences are attached to any magical workings they may undertake. The universal law of cause and effect is the law of three in its purest form. If we perform an action that goes against all that goes on to influence all of creation. If we perform an action that causes a result, then that result further causes an effect that goes on to influence all of creation in some way. The priestess priest acts as a spiritual guide to coven members, overseeing rituals, training their witches, making sure that in all they do when they come together is done in reverence and with integrity. Responsibility accompanies the high priestess priest to remind you to undertake a deep awareness of the possible effect of all things as a result of your thoughts, words, and actions. Whether you are a member of a coven or choose to work alone, see yourself as the high priestess priest and treat you all you do with respect. Which is foresight. Face your responsibilities. Never use your power on a whim. Be careful what you wish for. Own up. Turn to your priestess priest for assistance if you're in a coven. Your calling may be to become a priestess priest. High priestess priest revealed. Those who haven't had intense study and experience in Wicca witchcraft, honoring themselves and others and the divine in service to the god and goddess. They lead by example and are very knowledgeable about the craft. Their experiences and abilities, magic and energy, help and assist others on the path. So this is definitely a card about like mentorship and aligned dedication. So whether that's being your own mentor and dedicating yourself to your craft during this internal period, or that's reaching out virtually to your mentor for guidance, I think this is asking that we come together and use the time that we have here in this quiet mode to really support each other. So if you enjoyed this and you would like to check out my private readings, all the info is down below. Everything for Rashi is down below as well if you're called to join our family. Otherwise, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below any thoughts, any sentiments, any stories you want to share about April. I'm sending a lot of love. Like, I really, you know, I say that, but I mean it, especially in this time, and I'm holding space for everyone reaching out there. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Stay safe.
But there is one thing